I guess I must be willing to die for this.
All guys asking questions.
Yeah, Tim, thank you very much for a very, very nice talk. I think you demonstrated well that philosophy isn't just dry and abstracted, but really is at the core of, what we're living a life about. Now, I'm going to talk as someone who's just 21. I was recently in school. I think that this is the kind of stuff that young people really want to be talking about and hearing in our high schools, and what children would love to, it's so there with them. I think that's a perfect age to get this stuff into their minds.
Brilliant. I mean, I feel that. I really feel that. I've done yeah. I have been into schools and done this. This little book, and this isn't a plug. It is a plug, but it's not really. It's actually serious. Look, I wrote this little book for two reasons. One is a lot of people don't have a lot of time. This isn't it. This isn't it's just a book. But it's a little entrance ticket which some people get. And it's a way of introducing people to these ideas. If you give people a big book and say, you should read this, how many of your friends look at you like, oh no, now I've got to read this? Or how am I going to, let's forget about it and not mention it, and I don't want to read it. It's 8 hours to read a book or something, isn't it? It's a lot of time. This takes less than an hour. So it's not an imposition. And yet it's a kind of little love bug. It can be like, hey, check this out, see what you think. Which is why I wrote it like this. On the website, we've got the opportunity to buy it in groups of 10, so you can give it to all your friends. And an awful lot of people are doing that as a way of saying, let's get these ideas out there. And that's what I feel about the school. And it's, a friend of mine gave it to his 12-year-old son recently. And he took it to school. And now it's being read by the whole class. And that's the way in which we can help ourselves wake up. If we can just keep it, whatever we're doing. This is what I can do. I'm not going, look, this is it, you should all buy my book and give it to everyone, But it's one way that you might want to have a look at it and see. There's what you're doing too. It's what we're all doing. It's all, if we can all do it with that awareness, whatever we're doing becomes transformed into a way of waking ourselves up.
Tim, I just wanted to make a quick plug for reality TV, because actually I think it's part of the wake-up process. For all its phoniness, and we say, well, they call that reality, but isn't it? What we're being taught is that we are the authors of our own human drama, and that we get to write the story, we get to rewrite it, we get to change the story, we get to create any reality we want. So when I was recently asked in a TV interview what I would say to young people, I said I would say to them is, I don't see you as here to clean up our mess. I see you as here to create the world you want, whatever you want. It's yours to create. You're going to be the authors of the future. Have fun.
One can't help noticing a certain irony, however, that whilst we're all watching Big Brother in the UK, Big Brother is actually putting cameras on every street corner, and it's kind of like, uh-oh, and no one's noticing because they're watching Big Brother.
Time for one more?
One more would be lovely.
Okay, who would like to? This gentleman here.
Thank you, Cody. I just wanted to kind of offer in a sort of an answer to Will's question, actually, for your feedback. It seems to me that the communication system is there. It is inbuilt, and it's part of what Elizabeth was talking about earlier. And it's also, it's to do with the notion of being in the trees and listening. It's the intuitive space, isn't it? Isn't it about us spending more time in the intuitive space and less time in this conscious, I'm going to do this reality, so that we really are listening to each other on a deeper level?
Yes, although I'd like to try and put it not to disagree with that at all, but just to say something as well. What I love about this lucid philosophy that I'm playing with is it points to the fundamental nature of reality being both and, polarity. So it's not, do we need to just get out of our stories and it's just all one? It's not that, because, you know, if we did just that, you know, if we stop thinking, we just become stupid. And if we don't have a story, we're like amnesiacs. We become conscious through the stories we tell. That's how we become conscious. We become conscious by becoming more and more conscious individuals with our own story. So it's not either or, it's both and. The problem is not that we have these stories, it's that we only have them. We're just, and that's why the waking up from the dream isn't like waking up where the dream disappears, it's like lucid dreaming, it's lucid living. It's both. So you recognize this deep intuitive oneness which knows everything, but doesn't know that it knows it. It's unconscious. It's just holding it all within it. And then there's this play of forms within which we're becoming conscious and have all our stories and through which we can recognize that, so that we want both. But the thing with the stories is we never, never, never want to forget that fundamentally it's this mystery. See, if you lose that, you fall asleep. It's a good test if you want one. When you know, next week, you think, am I awake? Do you think you know what's going on? If you do, if you only do, you're asleep. If you think you know who you are, if you think you know who your partner is, if you know, if you think all of that and you're just sucked into it, you're asleep. That's how it feels to me. But if you can be also in that space of recognizing that when you meet with somebody, the mystery is meeting the mystery, that you are connecting right now. Just, you know, do it. When you talk to someone in the break, look what happens. You look, and you look in someone's eyes, and you just see colored patches. Beautiful, amazing, unique colored patches. But you don't see them. You don't see that thing you're relating to, not really. You're relating to this awareness, which you can't see or touch, and it's there. It's there, through the eyes, literally a hole you connect through to something that you can't see. And this mystery here, which you are, connects to the mystery which they are, through the forms. And when you really are in that both and place, that is love. That's big love. Big, big love. And at the end of the day, it's about big love. And I've never met anyone, I'll end on this one thought. There's a line in John Lennon, who I love, who was in Mind Games, a song called Mind Games, where he writes the line, love is the answer. And you know that for sure. And I love that second line. So audacious, isn't it? You know that for sure. And I don't know anyone, actually, deep, deep down, who doesn't know that for sure. So, that's love is the answer. You know that for sure. Thank you for playing with me.
Timothy Freke. Timothy Freke. We'll begin.